Hello everyone, welcome to GPD115, that is Introduction to Information and Communication Technology, ICT. Introduction to Information and Communication Technology. There are a lot of topics that we are going to treat under this course. We look at the overview of ICT, we look at Introduction to Computers, all are found in your course outline. We look at Windows management, we look at word processing, we look at spreadsheet application, we look at internet, that's introduction to internet, we look at presentation. These are the various topics that we are going to treat under GPD 115. We are going to look at the first topic, which is the overview of ICT. We are not just going to assume that you know what is an ICT, though it is taught at the basic schools, then to the secondary schools, but we are not going to assume, I'm not going to assume that you know. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what an ICT is. Then we move on to just an overview of what computer or introduction to computers before we come to the actual topic that you are supposed to treat under GPD 115. So this session, we are going to look at introduction to ICT. We are going to look at introduction to ICT. My name is George Asante. Under the introduction to ICT, we are going to look at these topics. We will look at the concept of ICT. When you mention or when you say ICT, what does it mean? Under the ICT, we look at what is information technology, we look at communication technology, we look at the ICT itself, and many of you have heard or seen elsewhere that we have what called ICTs. We will try to differentiate the two. We will also look at ICT tools that are used now in our days, the various ICT tools that are used. You cannot talk about ICT without discussing data and information. So we also look at what is data and what is information. Lastly, we look at the impact of ICT on education, the economy, and the society. So basically, this is what we are going to consider under the topic Introduction to ICT or the overview of ICT as you have it in your course outline. Now let's start with the concept of ICT. The concept of ICT. Now ICT has come to stay with us because all that you have been doing are all affected by the use of ICT. We are seeing that computers and information technology have changed the world and affected millions of lives. It's now more than MTN. Anywhere you go, the use of ICT is there. We are seeing that the modern society is now heavily dependent on ICT. All that we do now, we are all dependent on ICT. When you go to the bank, the use of ICT is there. You get to the hospital, the use of ICT. Even in your homes, your microwave that you are using, your refrigerator that you are using, your television, they are all computerized. So you could see that now ICT is everywhere. We are all overly dependent on the use of ICT. Let WhatsApp goes off for a minute and see how people will be reacting. That shows that now our lives are heavily dependent on the use of ICT. We say we have entrusted much of our livelihood to computers. Much of our livelihood to what? Computers. As I just mentioned, most of the gadgets that we are using in the house now are computerized. Now you can have your lights on. Maybe you forgot to switch off your lights. There is a system that can help you once you are on the at the office. Once you have the application connected to your system in the house, you can put off your light even in the house. These are some of the things that are happening nowadays. Much attention now is on ICT. So we cannot do away with the use of ICT because we say it has helped us to participate in global markets. ICT has helped us in general to participate in global markets. Now you have your Kiku, you have your Alibaba, you have all the other online platforms where you can just go and buy items. All these are due to the power of what? ICT. We said it can also because of the use of ICT. It has also improved the delivery of basic services. It has improved the use of what? Basic services. Previously, you have to go and queue before you can buy your prepaid credit. Now, you can just pick your phone, then you go to the ECG app. You just pick your ECG app, then you buy your credit. Instead of you going to the ECG office to buy these credits. It has improved the delivery of services. I believe very soon Ghana Water will do same and other services. ICT has actually improved these services. So what is ICT then? What is ICT then? ICT can be put into two major components: your information technology and communication technology. So if you look at this, information and communication technology. So anytime you are giving the acronym for ICT, I prefer you to bring the conjunction and. I don't want you to say information communication technology. I don't like that because basically it is made of two major components: information technology and communication technology. So we said that we have information technology, then we have communication technology. The two come together to form the ICT that you know. But before we move on to what is information technology and what is communication technology, let's look at what is technology in general. At your basic level, remember we said technology simply means what? The use of scientific equipment and methods for making work easier and faster. The use of scientific equipment and methods for making work easier and faster. So what science has been able to produce, if you're able to use that to make your work easier and faster, then refer to that as what? Technology. Refer to that as technology. So when you say information technology, you want to have information, but I want to have it in a technological way. Remember in those days, we say when you are giving information, you can send somebody to run and go and give that information to some people in the other town. That was a way of communicating all right, a way of giving that information all right. But now it's not like that. How you're going to create this information are now different. Remember, you can just take your pen and paper and write something. You write a letter. I hope you were writing letters in those days. That you were creating information. Just writing that letter, take your pen and paper and you write. This is just information that you have. But now we can create that information in a more advanced form using computers. If you're able to do that, we refer to that idea as what? Information technology. You are generating information using scientific equipment. So basically, we are saying that information technology is the use of computers to transform data into information. If you're able to use computers to transform, change data into information, we refer to that as what? Information technology. That's the basic idea. Using computers and its other related devices to transform, to change, to convert data into a form that is going to be very useful for you, which we refer to as what? Information. That's basically what we call information technology. Now, what is communication technology? Here, we want to look at how we can exchange that information that has been created. How do you share that information with one another? Are you going to use mobile phone to share the information? Are you going to use your mobile phone call, or are you going to use your WhatsApp on the mobile phone, or are you going to use your Facebook to share that information? That technological way that you are going to use to share that information or exchange that information is what referred to as communication technology. So we are saying that it's basically the use of communication tools to exchange information. Basic idea of communication technology is trying to use communication tools. It could be your mobile phone, it could be your radio, it could be your television, it could be the modem that you are going to use to connect to the internet. If you're able to use these communication tools to exchange that information, then you refer to that as what? Communication technology. So basically, ICT is made up of two technologies: information technology and communication technology. You might have come across what we refer to as ICTs. Some refer or have been mentioning ICTs instead of ICT. There's just small difference between the two. If you take ICT, as you just said, it's just made up of two major components: information technology and communication technology. Information technology and communication technology. Now, if you put the two together, you get your ICT. So you are saying that ICT is therefore the use of computers to process data into information. The use of computers to process data into information. Now, after the information has been created, how do you share that information? Sharing that information digitally between two or more users together on what we call ICT. So basically, it's the use of computers to process data into information and sharing or exchanging that information digitally. Now, we want it to be digital. We don't want it to be analog. Using that, sharing that information digitally between two or more users is what referred to as what? ICT. Here, the users could be machines. Please, it's not only human beings that share information. It's not only human beings that share information. So the users here could be machines. It could be machines, a machine, a robot communicating to another device, or two or more devices communicating, or it could be computers communicating, or it could be two or more people communicating. So when I look at the sharing of the information, it's not done by only human beings. It is done, it could be between machines, between human and machine. Then what is ICTs? When you add the S, it means you are going with the plural. So here we refer to as what? Information and communication technologies, not technology. Information and communication technologies. It's not something too big. It's just information technology, communication technology, plus other technologies. So when I say ICTs, we are referring to information technology, communication technology, which is the ICT, plus other technologies. There are so many technologies beside the main information technology and communication technology. We have our other technologies like the broadcasting technology, the way they can just get production on the television, on the radio, video and imaging technology, how you can do the editing. Somebody can pick somebody's head, go and put it on somebody's trunk or neck, and it forms something different. Change the background of pictures and all those, they are all technology, and they all come under information and communication technologies. We have web technology, how we can put information on the internet. so that this information can connect to each other. These technologies are available now. We have artificial intelligence, how we can make machines behave intelligently as human, not necessarily behaving like human, but going to behave intelligently as what human. All these are some of the things that come together to form the ICT that we are looking at. When you look at ICT tools, basically we are looking at any device. Please, ICT tools is not only mechanical device that you can see. It could be a device, it could be a technology, it could be a service, or it could be a skill that aids or influences what ICT. So any device, technology, or anything that can influence or aid ICT is referred to as ICT tool. ICT tool. So there are a lot of ICT tools that are available. The main ICT tool that we are going to talk about is computers. But beside these computers, there are other ICT tools that you need to understand. Your mobile phones or your smartphones are all ICT tools because they're able to accept data, do something with that data, and give us what information. Your internet is also an ICT tool because it helps us to just transmit data from one point to another. When it comes to internet, you look at it in detail. What is an internet? On the internet, there are some applications that or services that you can have, and as one of them is email, where you can send message electronically over the internet. So email is a tool. It's a tool, ICT tool that you use to influence ICT. World Wide Web is also on the internet. It's a technology that enables documents to be interconnected. You click on this document, it sends you to another document, you click on that. That kind of interconnectivity forms what we call World Wide Web. And they are all tools that helps in the use of ICT. So there are a lot of ICT tools, and I entreat you to look for more of these ICTs. You are aware of most of them. Just refresh your mind on these ICTs that are used, especially in your course area, in your fashion design, or in your testers, or in your hospitality industry. What are some of the ICT tools that are used in this hospitality industry? Internet, email, and the rest are there, but you can still look for these kind of tools that are used over there. Now let's look at the difference between data and information. The difference between data and information. These are the two major basic elements of ICT. ICT actually deals with data, and you transform the data to get your information. So first, let's look at data. We are saying that data is the raw and processed facts. Raw and processed facts representing events or entities in an organization, in an environment, or in business transactions. So whenever you are talking of data, maybe at your basic level, you ended at the fact, saying that data is raw and processed fact. Yes, it's true. Data is raw and processed fact. But these facts represent something in an organization, represent something in an environment or in a business transaction. Let's take this example or scenario. You go to the ATM machine and want to withdraw money. There are a lot of data that you can pick from that transaction. The date that the transaction took place, the time, the amount that was withdrawn, the location of the ATM, and so many things. These facts represent the transaction that took place. So we refer to these facts in isolation as what? Data. When you put these facts together and it's printed for you on a sheet as receipt, the receipt becomes information. It is meaningful to you. But in isolation, if you see 18th August 2020, yes, you understand it all, but uh, uh, there are so many 18th August 2020. What is it for? But if you're able to tie that one to the amount that was withdrawn, to your ATM location and all those things together, you understand that okay, this fact is about the transaction that took place at a certain location. So data is raw and processed fact representing events or entities in an organization, in the environment or business transaction. And the data could include text, A, B, C, D, that you have there. It could be numbers, one, two, three, in that order. It could be images, either still image, or it could be what? Moving image, and it also could be what? Sound or audio. These are the examples of data that you have. You can transform these data to become something meaningful to you, as I just mentioned. And when that one is done, it turns to be information. It's no longer what? Data. For your data to be useful, we are saying that it must be accurate. There must be that kind of correctness in the data. It must be accurate. It must be up to date. Your data must be up to date. Don't give us archaic data. How many students are in level 100 hospitality class and you gave us 2016 data? Though it's a data all right, but it's not up to date. And that data may not be useful for what we are doing. And it must be complete, because if you give incomplete data, the computer will convert that incomplete data into an incomplete information, So basically, we now know what is data. Let's look at information. I believe I've mentioned a lot about information, but let's go over what is information. We have said that information is a processed data, data that has been processed, data that has been transformed, data that has been converted into a form that is more useful and meaningful. That's what we talk about information. So you get your date, you get your time, the amount that was withdrawn from the ATM, the ATM location, and other kind of information. Putting it together, it has been processed, and the system will give you a receipt. That paper contains all the necessary data. Together, we refer to that as what? Information. It has been processed and becomes meaningful and useful to you. It becomes meaningful and useful to you. Let's consider this statement. This is a normal English. We say that, let's see this statement saying the tree climbs the snake. The tree climbs the snake. Is it wrong? No. Grammatically, we are saying that it's correct, because in English, we have subject, verbs, object. The tree there is your subject, your climbs there is your verb, the snake there becomes your object. So your subject verb agreement is there, and grammatically is correct. And grammatically is correct. And grammatically is correct. So the tree climbed the snake is grammatically correct. Is grammatically correct. But it is nonsensical in its meaning. It's nonsensical in its meaning. The tree climbs the snake is grammatically correct, but nonsensical in its meaning. If you're able to rearrange this statement, you could say that it's not possible that the tree will climb the snake. Therefore, when you make it the snake climbs the tree, then that one becomes meaningful to you. Rearranging that one into a form that is meaningful That form is what referred to as what? Information. So information is a processed data that is in a more meaningful and useful form. So this statement now is very meaningful and is useful now. So basically, your information is a processed data that is usually meaningful and useful. Now let's look at the impact of ICT on education. The impact of ICT on education. We are going to look at the impact of ICT on education. We look at that of the society. We look at that of the economy. In fact, there are a lot of benefit that come with the use of ICT as far as education is concerned. You can give us a lot, but let's consider these few ones. ICT has benefited education in various ways. One is the use of productivity tools. When you look at productivity tools, we are looking at those software that are able to help us generate or create other things. For example, word processor. You want to write a letter, you need a word processor. Example is Microsoft Word to create that document. You have video editing tools. You have a video, a video that you want to crop it. That is, you want to just take a certain portion of the video. You will need a tool that will help you do that. All these are productivity tools and they help us in education a lot. They help us in education a lot. Your spreadsheet will help you to generate your assessment sheets and the rest. So these are some of the impact that we get from ICT as far as education is concerned. We also look at the use of simulation. In education, we use simulation a lot. When you're looking at simulation, if you have a certain complex activity that individuals or human beings cannot do, or is so expensive to do in real time, then you can use a software to help you do that. You can use a software to help you. You are teaching solar system. You can't take the student to the moon or whatever to go and look at all these systems. So you have a software that will simulate the sun, that will simulate the various planets and how they move around each other. That simulation is helping in education. And this is done by the power of the ICT. It has improved distance learning education. Now, the use of ICT, the COVID has shown us that we cannot do away with ICT. We are saying that you should be in your houses or home, but still you also want to learn. How can you do that? You can do that only through the use of ICT, using tools like the Zoom, using tools like the Google Classroom, using tools like Telegram and the rest. All these are tools that are helping us to actually do our learning. So ICT has impacted education a lot. The way we teach and we learn to has also changed. Using a lot of gadgets, your projectors, your internet, and others in teaching, in learning too, there are a lot of things that you cannot get on the internet and the rest. Those days you have to travel before you can get to British embassy to get some books from their library. But now on your bed, you can just pick your phone, Google, and you can just get PDF and you'll be learning. So it has improved teaching and learning. You want to show how to sew a certain dress, you can go to YouTube and the procedure will be there. You want to learn how to prepare pizza, you don't know how to do it, go to YouTube, type how to prepare pizza. You get so many videos that will teach you how to do. So you could see that ICT has actually improved the teaching and learning nowadays. So there are a lot of benefit in education, and I want you to explore to find out within your area how has ICT improved the kind of education that you have in hospitality or in fashion or in textiles. It has also improved assessment. Now we are having the numbers the enrollment is actually increasing, and if you conduct exams and you want to mark it yourself, it's very, very difficult. If you have online assessment where you have your objectives, students just go online, they answer, within a few seconds, the system will mark it and the results is given to the student. Very, very fast as compared to the traditional way of assessment. So though there are a lot of challenges, the ideal thing is that it has improved the assessment. You can do it as quick as possible, and you can do it for a very large number. You don't need human invigilators. It has also impacted us on the economy. There are a lot of improvement as far as our productivity is concerned in many companies. Now, most companies have become a lot of productive. They are productive now because of the use of ICT, the use of robots in companies, the use of computer aided design to design those kind of artifacts. All these are helping to improve the productivity in companies. In trading, it has improved it a lot. You can now go to Tonaton and buy something. If you want to pay, you don't need to pay with cash. There are other mobile money and other things that are there that you can use to transfer money. People don't need to carry money along when they are going to Togo and the rest to go and buy items and all those things. These are some of the things that we are looking at. So it has improved trading. It has improved banking. Now, when you go to most of these ATM, you can deposit money, you can withdraw money. There's no need for you to go and queue at the bank. You can just transfer money from your account to another account without necessarily going to the bank. All these are some of the improvements that ICT has brought to our economy. It has enhanced globalization. You are here and you are buying something on using Kiku, something from China, something from other countries. You want to buy cars, you can just go to, is it Auto Winnie or whatever, and all these things, they are not in, all these organizations are not in our country, but because of ICT, we are seeing that if we are on the other part of the globe. It has enhanced the globalization. Our last part of the study will be on the impact of ICT on the society. The impact of ICT on the society. All that we mentioned about education and economy impacted on the society. But let's add some few aspects of the impact of ICT on society. We are seeing that it has improved delivery of services. In my introduction, I mentioned that now there are a lot of services that have been improved by the use of ICT. I mentioned the ECG. Now their payment system has improved. You don't need to go to the office to go and buy your prepaid credit. You can do that on your phone. Now, most of these, let's say Ghana Water, can even send your bill to you through text message. Unlike those days where human beings will be moving around and dogs will be chasing them. Now, there's no need for them to do that. All these services could be provided on your phone. Your bill, monthly bill will be sent to you through your mail or through your text message. Very soon, I believe they also go into the payment where you can buy, so you can pay your bill using their app. Though you can pay it using the other banks' apps, but maybe they also come up with their own apps. So these are some of the impact that ICT has brought about in the delivery of services. It has improved security systems. Now there are a lot of security gadgets that are available, those that are hidden, and all those that could be used in protecting lives and property. In protecting lives and property. So it has improved security. It has improved our communication. In society now, the way we communicate is far better than in those days, where you need to queue before you can make call. I don't know whether you people remember. You go to the post office and you have to queue before you can call somebody. You have to kill before you can call somebody. All these things are all these things are all these things are no more in use because now you have a lot of gadgets that can help you actually do that kind of communication. So it has also improved our communication. So what we've learned so far, we wanted to find out the brief introduction to ICT. So we've looked at what an ICT stands for. We've looked at the various components, information technology and communication technology. We've looked at the various ICT tools that are used. We've looked at the major element of ICT, that is data and information. And we have also looked at how uh, uh, this ICT actually would improve our education, our society, and the economy, the impact that it has on education, the society, and the economy. What I would like you to do is to look for the various challenges or limitations in the use of ICT. You can check it from your course area, the various challenges that you face when you want to use ICT, or what are some of the limitations in the use of ICT. Make sure you can have at least 10 challenges or limitations in the use of ICT. Our next lecture, we are going to look at introduction to computers. I said I don't want to assume that you know. So I'm going to assume that you don't know so that you get all the basics so that when you start using the computers, you are not going to ask some questions that are not necessary to be asked. So next lesson, we are going to look at overview of computers. You look at what is computer, what are its functions, its advantages, disadvantages, if any, and the rest. So make sure you go through that before you come for the next lecture. But make sure you have the assignment done. Explain at least 10 challenges or limitations to the use of ICT.